Let me introduce myself. My name is Young. G to the R I. It's Young Grizzly. I'm not spelling that. I'm just not. Uh, as always, let us first check sound. See what we got here. I'm just not. Okay, sweet. All right, let's get our view set here, guys. Obfuscate. Okay. Um, Guys, welcome to another stream. Appreciate the people that will be watching this live, and of course the people that will be watching the playback. Really do appreciate you. The stream schedule has changed. It will be Fridays and Saturday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Um, Essentially, got a night job, so we'll be working that. I did make a little video about it. Should help definitely get me into a better spot financially. So I'll be able to pay off things a lot quicker and get some stuff done around this house that I need to, or want to, really want to. So I've been doing a little bit of buying and shopping and stuff today. So I kind of went out of the house. So that was pretty cool. I don't really get out much around here. There isn't much to do, but also I just don't like doing much at all myself. So is what it is on that. But I was able to, get out the house. I had a couple errands to run, and went to a couple stores and got some stuff done. And after this, I'm going to be hanging up a new server rack, a wall-mounted server rack. Kind of really organizing. So with this new job, I'm able to buy a couple more things and get some other stuff done here around the house, of course. One of the things is putting up the server rack so I can move all my networking equipment to another spot, and then finally redo my utility closet like I've been talking about for a while. Excuse the sniffles. I don't know why. I guess. Oh, yeah, it's because I just took a shower, and sorry, it took me a little bit longer. About a minute late here today, and that's because I was eating a popsicle. But as always, we start off with art. You guys know I love ArtStation and what's on here. Definitely, it's something about like the feminine pictures, really that stands out. Like really nice. And you have some that have some artists that have do well with soft colors, even black female characters. And this guy's is mostly white female characters and Asian, mostly Asian. This one's like an anime-esque. I love the eyes on this. You could see like the bubbles and everything in there for representing the light or lighting. I mean, the eye color is freaking phenomenal. Like that would be crazy to even have like contacts like that, even like, and it look this good. So all the colors really flow into one another, look really good. The wet hair is really nice. So from an anime perspective, this is pretty cool. I really do like it. Um, Other art this person has on there, Irakli Nadar. I'm not sure. It was in Georgia. I don't know if that's like Tbilisi, Georgia. That might be like the country Georgia. But yeah, the person does really good work, and this is all like drawn. So really good stuff. Very impressed with the work. Wow, this is beautiful. Whoa, downloading that one. That was really beautiful. Oh yeah, a little fox. That's pretty cool. Like some Firefox stuff. But yeah, I think this person has some really good artwork. I actually saw this picture the other day, called Aesthetics. This one's pretty good. Definitely cool female form and everything else like that. Looks like a CrossFitter. Princess Mononoke with a bob. Oh yes, fancy. But yeah, so this one's pretty good, but definitely not the usual stronger, long-haired Princess Mononoke that shows a lot of fierceness in her eyes, like this one here. This one a little bit younger face to her, but still fairly fierce in this. That stares crazy. Eye color's awesome. Wolf in the back. I haven't watched this Studio Ghibli production in a while. So, like I said, this guy doesn't do many black women, but we have this one. This woman here looks Afro-Latina, maybe Mediterranean, probably even like just yeah, probably just like Cuban or something like that. So this one's really nice. Uh, Definitely love the neck here and everything like that. And then just the face just looks. This looks just like a photo. I don't even know if this is. Oh, okay. So there's like a reference photo for this one. Oh, okay. I don't know if I'll get it here. This is kind of crazy. This is some wild stuff. Okay, let me go back. Oh, okay. Let me go there. But yeah, I think this is a really good photo here. And that was done 5 years ago. Wow. Kerrigan. Oh, this is from I think StarCraft. Yeah, I think this is from StarCraft. But this is a nice piece too. StarCraft. This is like the insect queen or whatever, or the brood queen or something like that. I don't know. But this person really goes for the anime look, of course, especially with the colors, but just really the youngness in the face. You know, I mean, this woman here looks, or this image here looks, I mean, nowhere near like 20 at the oldest. 20 at the oldest. I mean, I'm really looking at 15, but like 15 to 20. Okay, older one here. So older portrait. I know I saw this and thought Adele. Jawline's kind of crazy on this one. I like that. Like really well defined. Still has a nice female curvature to it. This is a weird looking neck. That's a weird looking neck. That is a weird. Oh god, that neck. Oh man, what that neck do? All right, let's get out of that. So last night we had a good stream. I thought it was a good stream, very productive. We actually helped out our brother Richard Dixon. I do want to say thank you very much, Richard Dixon. You did not have to send me what you sent me on Cash App, but I do want to shout out Richard Dixon. Definitely a guy that sent me money before and really just sees the value in the platform and kind of what I'm trying to do here and what I, in a sense, provide to other guys. You guys do not have to send me anything via Cash App. I will take it. I'll let that be known. But you guys don't have to do this. Don't have to send anything to Cash App. This is all about outreach and working with my brothers so that they can actually develop these skills and have a place to where they can talk more about these skills on a regular basis and sharpen, iron sharpening iron, and things like that. So. I'm here for you in any way, shape, or form to help you guys out as the channel quote unquote grows or gets a little bit bigger, a little bit more popular, things like that, and we have more people come in. Probably even do streams where we start talking about problems and start trying to solve them online and try and code things up. I'm mostly a Node.js, JavaScript person in terms of web development. So when it comes to something like that, or when it comes to stuff like that, guys, just that's the code, that's the language I talk, or that's the language I write in. But logic is logic. I should be able to help anybody out with anything. There will be some quirks and things like that where I would have to step back and kind of work the problem out on down to its fundamental or foundation. But for the most part, logic is logic. So if I can help out even with Python scripts or anything else, then let me know so I can actually do that, and we can start something like a JS fiddle, especially for the JavaScript stuff. Um, or you can do we can share your screen on the on the stream here, and that would be a really cool thing. So I do want to say I really do appreciate Richard Dixon and all those that have sent me money before via Cash App. I'm not sure if I'll ever do super chats. I'll probably just do Cash Apps, call it a day on that. But for to be very honest, man, you guys and what you guys do in terms of just watching, like it's really cool. I'm seeing the numbers steadily go up to um 40, 50 views after a stream, and that's huge. Richard, man, hey man, what's up, brother? I was just saying thanks a lot for what you sent, brother. I really do appreciate that. And yeah, definitely type what happened with your project. Guys, we were working on a project last night, and that was probably about like an hour or so, where we really went in and started working with the problem that he was having, kind of breaking it down, and really just looking at it and reading it. and doing it from a standpoint of me as an intermediate developer and him as a beginning developer. Getting into these things. So definitely, bro. I want to say thank you so much for what you gave, and via Cash App. Like that's a lot of money, man. I don't know if you're like into like how much you gave and all that other stuff. Some people don't like that to be put out there, but um, I definitely appreciate it, man. I really do. But yeah, so yeah, I was talking about you a little bit, Richard. So, but moving on, I do want to go ahead and get started on this project. So, tonight's stream is named the Error Whisperer. So, we're going to be looking at the errors that we were getting from the backend yesterday, and we're going to be doing this in Postman. Excuse me, that was rude. Um, Okay, so you're gonna be doing this in Postman here. Essentially, um, we want to send the backend multiple or an array of objects, and then have it process each one of those, and then go from there. So, hmm, I don't know. See, the thing is right here, which is like list one. I was having a problem with that because most of the time arrays, they're gonna let you know that sorry, arrays are done in order, so or they're processed in order or from a starting point. So if I start at 0, it should do the first item in the array. The array should keep it. Okay, so Richard Dixon said, "Yeah, I passed. Didn't tinker with it much. Just changed how the random image would populate." Okay, cool, man. Cool. Did you have to do anything extra with the code in terms of like were we returning the right things in the object? Because I know when we talked about it, I wasn't sure if we have to actually return the image and pass that image along, or do we just have to get the link to the image? So let me know if that was the right thought process on that. All right, so it says no problem. I'm in project phase now, simulating working as a team on the next big project. Okay, cool, man. Hey, can you tell us a little bit more? Just like, go ahead and just write down what type of course you're into, because that was pretty interesting. I never saw anything like that, and I don't really. I mean, I take my Udemy courses, but and just do watch my videos, but I didn't know what you were actually really into or what course that was. So if you can, please share that. I think that was really good. And guys, watch last night's stream, which probably around that 2 hour mark or hour and a half mark, where we started working with Mr. Dixon on his project and his problem. Give me a moment. Let me blow my nose. Sorry about that, guys. It's kind of bothering me. All right. So as I said, last night we were working on error handling, and we have quite a few errors that are produced from the method or the way that we're actually processing all of our the processing all the lists. So we want to pass the backend an array of lists or array of objects that will form our list component or information about our list that gets saved in the database. Um, I want to do an array, always pass an array, even if the array only has one item in it. I always want to pass an array. For me to work with that and also validate, the validation only works with JSON objects. So we're going to have to do a for loop that will iterate through the actual array itself. Do a for loop that will iterate through the array itself. And then with that for loop, then we can I start validating each item in the array, and then give all of our errors, or populate our error messages and things like that, and then return it to the front end. So, with that being said, we did have it to where all the list names and everything else like that. We have everything there. Um, so in this case, list name longs is not allowed. Okay. And the reason why this is all written with like HTML tags and all that is because we're going to take this and it'll populate something to where we can take each one of these errors and then spit all that out, or maybe even put it to an array of errors. So we'll figure that out. I might change that, but for the most part, my message is always a string. And with my message always being a string as opposed to it being an array, then it makes it easier. So that's the reason why it does that. And then for me to do this, I can actually just go ahead and write this out and then write a whole list of all the errors and things like that. So that's why it's like that. But we can always change that and then write code that says, just to check if it's an array by getting the length of the, maybe getting the length of it, or validating that it's an array with some other type of function or something like that. So in this case, if I pass this list, I know list names will be invalid, and list names long or list name longs will be invalid. So if I send that to the back end, should get 2 errors. All right. So with this one, oh, problem. So list name longs, that's wrong there, and list names is wrong there. So it says list 1 and list 1 as up, but this is obviously list 2. So let's go ahead and figure that out there so we can get our errors done up properly here. Ooh, a lot of bugs getting zapped here. Okay. So nano server. Oh wait. Let's see if I have it somewhere else. That was the work we were doing last night. Validation. So that's cool, but we need to get public.js. No, we need to look at our backend. All right, so that should be server controller API. I think we're doing, that's the add endpoint, yeah. And then here we go. So our list. So it should be I+1. The thing is, though, if we're doing this, is I incrementing? It may not be incrementing for whatever reason. It should be going through this, though. Array of objects. I'm wondering why this is not. So as we're moving through this array, it should increment. List name long. Maybe it's not moving past. Maybe it's not moving past a certain point. So we have list name 1 and list name 1. List name longs is in the first one, and list names is in the second one. So it is moving through it and filling up the messages, but this is not incrementing properly. So that's really, quote unquote, our only problem, I guess, if you will. So I mean, we could do something like let error or list number equal I+1, right? And then that way we just reference that. Then it gets calculated beforehand. Is it possible? Okay, Mr. Dixon got an answer for us here. Yeah, it's just a Slack group called Reskill Americans. After going through this program, there is an intern opportunity. There is intern opportunities at the end of it. Oh, okay, that's really cool. So guys, check something like that out. Richard, is it something that is open to like anybody? Is it something that's paid for? Um, do you think it's actually a good program thus far? Like, kind of give us a little bit of feedback on that. That does sound pretty good. And then it being connected to Slack or a Slack group, then that means that it has a nice chat component or should have a nice chat component to it. So I think that's pretty cool. So you can like stay connected with other people and stuff like that. Also, the benefits of working with a group and working with others in general in terms of coding is big. I mean, that is definitely something that I am, what's it called? Not guilty of, but that is something that I lack in terms of like a skill set working with other people in code. I work with people pretty well, but work with them in code. I like to kind of see myself in that environment. Oh, okay. So it's closed right now. Have to wait for next cohort. Oh, okay. So I guess the next cohort is like, when they do another set of like entries or something like that. Okay. Um Definitely is something I bro, if anything, man, you should make videos about that so other people that want to get into it and then help them get into it. And if you talk to somebody like Edward Anderson, he'll talk about what's it called? Finding like a if it's an affiliate program where you can actually make money off of it. But it would be definitely a good way that you can get into it because some of the stuff you're doing, man, that was pretty cool. Like working with events and everything like that, and then emitting events and doing all that stuff. So those are high level things. I will say the only thing I didn't like is like, okay, you're using the spread operator, but then it's like, okay, do you use all the basic stuff, the foundational stuff, the stuff that most people use on a regular basis? The spread operator is fairly new, and probably another 5 years, it will be kind of like baked in the cake. Everybody will be using it. But even some of the stuff that I watch, like they don't use a lot of spread operators. Some of the new stuff though does use what's it called, object destructuring and stuff like that. So you could do a lot of that stuff and pulling certain things out of um, what's it called? You could pull certain things out of a JSON object or something like that. But when I saw you using the spread operator, I was just like, oh man, I have not seen that really. But I do look at a lot of old stuff, so yeah, uh, cool. All right, so yeah, we're gonna do list number here. Kind of wondering about that because I'm like, why isn't this? Oh, okay. It could be that it runs this validation. I'm not sure the order of things here. I'm expecting it to run this validation every time, and then when it loops through, it should iterate through and go from there. But I'm not sure if it's returning prematurely or something like that. Anyways, let's run it and see what happens. Um, and 0. Let's increase the font for everybody. Hope you guys can see that. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and run this again. Still list number 1. So that wasn't our problem here. Everything should be good. The only thing I don't like, eels. If your eye. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's why. Um, I is getting reassigned down here. And this is why I do the I always like I'll do like E and then you guys have seen me do PCF or something like that, or PFC or whatever, something like that, right? It's like I've done it because of this, like because of this very issue here. So let's say let's not pass index because we don't need it. Actually, let's redo everything here. I don't need this extra variable, so that's cool. And then I don't need I. Yeah, I shouldn't need I here. All right, cool. There we go. List 2. All right, so that's cool. And okay, let's see here. That is why I need to get a job to see how code standards are on site. Now, Richard Dixon, you do have to understand, you know, you do have to understand, right? Like, you can see how it is on site and everything like that. Like, you'll see it so many different ways, and it's all preference. And sometimes they'll have um, there'll be different preferences, and then people will be working on different projects or microservices or something like that. And then when that happens, then the whole team will be kind of disjointed. So what you want to do, and this is something that I want to do myself, um, but we can look at things like the Twitter coding standard. Uh, Getting started with our platform docs Twitter, the Twitter standard. Again, points. Okay. Oh man, I forgot where I saw this before. So I saw this in a GitHub repo, um, and yeah, I saw this in a GitHub repo, and then in the GitHub repo, it actually said that it was written with the Twitter coding standard. I think it was Twitter. Yeah, I think it was Twitter. But let me see. Offender program with a single tweet. Your code is shit. All right, so this is not what I saw, but um, oh man, where is it? Rules and policies. Hmm. Let's see. Tools and libraries, fundamental tutorials, reference, Twitter API, Twitter ads API websites, labs, documentation. Uh, Darn it. So the point is, some of these companies actually have their own coding standards, like how you write a function, how you define a function, how you define parameters within the function. Do you use single or double spacing or tab spacing for, in terms of like, or sorry, single, double, or tab indentations for your code? Um, what's the length of your actual code? Like how many characters? So for instance, if I open up a notepad here, sorry, it's on my other screen. So if I open up a notepad here and I'll do F's in the chat, right? And yeah, right there. So this will be a violation, right? Because this is 81 characters in terms of its length. So with it, let me do this. Oh crap, doing that wrong. Try to make it better. You only made it worse. So some actual companies they actually have a coding standard. So to the point where like the length here can only be like 80 characters. I am tripping. I actually got a book on coding standards by Google and haven't read one page yet. Bro, I haven't read any of these coding standards either, bro. So, kind of learning as I go here. But yeah, like they'll have different coding standards and it'll be things like this right here actually makes code more readable. And the reason why you do it is it makes it more human readable. It's standard. There is a little bit of science to it. Like for instance, most of these windows, it's only about 80 characters long in terms of the view. So if you look at this and you kind of line this up with the edge of this here and where the actual terminal starts and where it kind of ends, for the most part, I'm within it here on some lines. Some lines are a little bit longer, but what it'll tell you to do is to actually consolidate that a little bit more. Let's get rid of the message there. So consolidate a little bit more or make sure that it's no longer than 80 characters. And you can actually have it in your oh man, you can have it mm, in your IDE, your editor, or what have you, to where you can actually have a vertical line break here that shows when you're over the 80 character limit. And then also even if you're going to use semicolons at the end of a line or not use semicolons at the end of a line, stuff like that. So I'm sure with coders, like in terms of their introduction and getting through everything, getting through their what do they call that thing when you're like not just your introduction but your orientation, so your orientation into the company and what they expect you to do in terms of your coding standards. I'm sure they go through this and they have like training on this where you have to actually adhere to all of these different paradigms and things like that. So that's definitely something that something you'll see on a regular basis when you're looking at um, when you're looking at different code, different coding and libraries and stuff like that. And it makes sense because, man, you see some code when you're actually looking in GitHub and look at the source, it's a freaking mess. It's just like crazy. So in fact, let's look up the Google coding standard. Coding standard there. Oh, that's it. Style guide. Coding. Okay. Let's do duplicate. Go back. Coding style guide. All right, better word here. Commons, style guide, tabs and spaces, so like things like that. Style guide, basic formatting. Let's see here. Java style guide, coding style formatting, best practices. Oh, this should be a good thing to read. I'm gonna put this in the chat for you guys. Anybody that's seeing the playback, Mr. Dixon, definitely go ahead and take a look at that. But yeah, this is something that I probably want to look at too. Let's look at this indent style. We use the one true brace style. What? Okay. One TBS. Indent size is 2 columns. Okay. And I don't like that. And this offends me. Okay, so like this, not like this. Also not like this. Oh man, I'd be triggering so many people with my guard statements for some of my if statements. And then okay, so one true brace, it looks like it has, it actually has the curly braces in there, whether you want it or not. So you have that. Continuation indent is 4 columns. Nested continuations may add 4 columns or 2 at each level. Whoa. Okay. So if we look at this is bad, and this is good. But you see, like has a whole bunch of pluses for string concatenation and everything like that. But hey, a standard is a standard. This is a standard, guys. This is what you would expect in certain coding, certain companies and stuff like that. If they do not have a standard, start working with your colleagues to push to develop one. It definitely helps. It definitely helps for the coding readability and stuff like that, or the readability of the code and stuff like that. So, wow, look at this. Self-contained headers, the define guard, include what you use, for declarations, inline functions, names and order of includes. Whoa. Scoping, classes, functions, like, so it even breaks down, like, okay, we'll put this in the chat as well. So it even breaks down what you would do for your functions. And does it do anything for variables, or does it C++ version? Inclusive naming, general naming rules, file names, type names, variable names. Okay, so for start variable names, the names of variables, including function parameters and data members, are all lowercase with underscores between words. So that's snake case. Data members of classes, but not structs, additionally have trailing underscores. For instance, a local variable, a struct data member. Okay, a class data member. Look at that. Has that trailing. All right. So bad mixed case. So they don't like mixed case. So they don't like, this is camel case here. And this is all Java here, baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh sorry, all JavaScript. But yes, they don't like they don't like what's it called? Case. They don't like camel case there. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Those are the things that you have to like watch out for when you're actually working with larger groups and stuff like that. All right, back to it. We can minimize this because we're not working with that right now. But essentially, we're just trying to make sure that we can get all of our errors to our front end. Now, one thing I do like to do is make sure that I have, so we'll do ED, right? So it doesn't mess that up. And then EED. So what I want is element errors, index errors, actually index errors. Yeah, EE. So yeah, I want to make sure that I can actually use this at some other point. So I'm just gonna define it here like this, and then I here for the loop. And I may even like, have a standard or develop my own personal standard where I'll use something like an I, but then if it's for a loop, I'll be like I loop or something like that, and then have that as a variable. Yeah, might be something I'll do. But for now, I keep it standard. So something like this would be totally like against some of these Google standards, and also using brace, having the double space. So like per standard, I have to have it something like that. And then also if I do this, I am line 105, column 115. So like I'm way off. So if I do here, column 89. So yeah, I would have to chop my line right here. So I'm already like, the over the character limit and stuff like that in terms of the or the column character limit. And this isn't great, like it's off the page and stuff like that, and that's not the best way to have it. But these are the things that you do have to worry about when you're writing code for larger groups and things like that. And that's kind of how we got down this rabbit hole. So in terms of my error here, I'm getting the errors that I want, or I'm having it listed here. So list number. And I mean, I could do a little bit more with this because, I mean, so the reason why I don't want to do something like I want to do list number as opposed to list name, because in some cases I won't have list names. For actually, some people might want to try and hit the back end. Um, and when they hit the back end, they want to like go to it directly, and they have list names spelled incorrectly, and then that would generate an error because I didn't catch that or anything like that, or I didn't account for that in my code. And it's like, okay, why not just make it simpler and just say, hey, list number one. And if you don't know what list number one is, then I don't know what to tell you. But you'll kind of figure it out after you have like 3 or 4 lists with the same problems or something like that. That's one thing. You just can't really code for everything. Like you just can't. It's a little bit too hard. There's so many different permutations. If an error pops up, deal with the error then. Don't try and prematurely optimize. I do that often. I'm not gonna lie, but I try to stay away from it. Or when I see that I'm getting a little bit too deeper into it, I'm like, no, you really don't need to be doing that, Mike. Back the hell off. All right, cool. So in this case, if error message return status 400, we'll get out of multi-split window mode here. Now, since we have our errors and we have our guard statement to where it loops through our objects here, now what we're going to do is we should be doing we do a validate input. It returns everything. We should be able to get rid of this code here. Oh, I never did well, that's fine. Didn't do an update to the repo after last stream. And yeah, okay. So what we'll do here is we'll do let query and then if error. Now I'm thinking here, should I process some lists but not all? Like if you see an error, should you correct it? Or if you see an error, should I process the lists that are correct? Like you got to think about those things. Like, okay, I'm looking at this, I'm putting this together, and I'm like, okay, should I actually process a list if another list is erroneous or has an error? And then I'm gonna have to deal with that. I'm also gonna have to deal with like letting them know that none of your lists were processed. I also have to think about working with our messages and stuff like that. In terms of what we return, our returned our response object, or our object that's sent as a response. Hmm. So if I do that, I would have to put something at the end that says like no lists were processed. So I can handle that in this manner here. So error messages. All right. We will do this as a template literal because I don't want to do. I'm going to be doing some string concatenation here, but I don't want to have to go through every little bit and like concatenate every single string. So error messages. We know that even if it's just one thing, it should always add a break for us. So it should be a space and a break. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So it should be a space and a break. So what I'll do here, space and break. And then with that space and break, I'm going to, hmm, do I have a period? No, I don't have a period on that. And then I don't have anything, uh, uh, no lists have been saved. Saved. Okay. Period. Breaks. Take out the extra space. Okay, so, and again, this is why they have that 80 character standard because it goes off screen like that. And some of that stuff is archaic too. It's like based off of what has happened in the, like what happened with like, old terminal computers and stuff like that, and older language like C, C++, C sharp, and all that stuff like that. You have these older languages, and with those older languages, they had smaller screens, terminals, and stuff like that. So to have to scroll over on a very long line was a big problem, and it was kind of hard to code that on the systems that they actually used to have to code on, your big irons and all that other stuff. Okay. So error message and then no lists have been saved. So let's see how this looks. Oh, 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 doesn't like it. All right. So what do we have here as an error? Error message. Doesn't like catch error. Oh, okay. I have something in here that I got rid of. So if I do my try, yeah, it had to be one of the lines that I got rid of here. So I have my try here. Yeah, that lines up with my catch. But what am I missing here? If I go here, again, this is why you do all your indentations. So you can actually just traverse this pretty quickly. IE error message. Send. Oh, there we go. I added this. All right, boom. So that's an unexpected character. There we go. All right, cool. No lists have been. And let's see how this looks. Okay, that's good. That's good. No lists have been saved. Again, having errors that are descriptive or having information that's descriptive in terms of the errors that are created is very important because then it helps you pinpoint where there are issues, where things that should have happened don't happen, stuff like that. So I have my guard statement here. This is a very long line, so that is kind of bothering me a little bit after what we just read. So I do want to do, let's do Alt-I in Nano, and then that will do our auto indents. Let's go ahead and do the same thing all the way out to here. I won't follow it strictly, but this one I will put on multiple lines, and I think this will be actually better doing it this way. So and then I'm going to have to do, here we go. All right, cool. So that looks a little bit, a lot better, tighter, readable. And let's see if it falls in the 80 characters. Yeah, that falls in under 80 characters there. So that's like a nice thing to have. And there's a reason why you have those limitations. That's a lot easier to read. Everything is on the screen. I don't have to scroll out of a line or scroll down a long line or anything like that. Also, another reason why you do stuff like that is because the human mind, in some cases, some people are very forgetful in terms of like, okay, a couple characters ago that you can't see on the screen any longer. Um, in this case, I have a very wide screen with 16 by 19, or sorry, 16 by 9 aspect ratio. It's a 32-inch curve monitor. This is what I'm doing this on, but for the most part, like this is a wide screen. But even with a wide screen, that will only do, probably like 200 something characters or what have you. About probably a little bit more. But it's like you don't want to run it out. You don't want it to go out that far. You want to fit as much as you can on the screen without having it go really, really, really small or something like that. Um, but yeah, so that's why you want to do things like this and make sure that it stays within those boundaries because sometimes you won't have a screen like that. Probably looking to get maybe a laptop for my night job so I can do some coding at my night job. Um, that way, probably be a little bit easier to get through the night with working with stuff. So that's going to be something that I'm thinking about actually. All right, cool. Let me get back to it. Sorry, I digress. Um, so we have this here. If error message, cool. All right, so let's move on to this next thing. Now, I want to do all my validations here, and then after that, do a for loop that does everything here. The only thing, though, I mean, we see this, right? Like, w- this is another problem. We have to account for things like the projects and libraries and things that we use to present all of this or put all this together and glue all this together. One of the things is oof, one of the things is dealing with responses or the res object or parameter or what have you. But dealing with the res object and express.js, I can only return it once. So because of that, I have to account for this. And like if I'm doing a for loop, then I'm gonna have to at each iteration, I'm gonna have to save that and then go through it from there. So, hmm, actually no, I don't. Because in my query, if I do a save, no, geez. See the replace. I use replace and I use replace one. So let's see if they have a replace many, because I can actually give it an object. Sorry, I can give it an array, and with the array, then I don't need to with the array, I don't need to do one item. I can do multiple items in one swoop there, one fell swoop there. So let's see here, schemas, queries, and update one. So let's do update many. There we go. So if we do update many, okay. Same as update, except MongoDB will update all documents that match filter as opposed to just the first one, regardless of the value of the value of multi-option. Update many will not fire update middleware. Use pre update many. Okay, I don't know what that means because I don't really use that. And then post update many instead. Okay. Um, hmm. hmm. Now I'm thinking like, does it do this based off of the the filter that I'm using, like the name? And then does that do that for each object? Update many, and then start. Number of documents matched, number of documents modified. See, I might have to loop through this because I have documents that don't all have the same name. They have different names. So, or I have to input, where it says it has this regular expression down here for Stark. So anything that begins with Stark and then strict in terms of the ending. So it could begin with anything here, right? Because there's no caret symbol. So it doesn't have to be an exact match, but it does have to end with Stark. And that's kind of how I understand that regular expression. Now, mention something about the multi option. What does that mean? I don't know about that. So filter, update. Okay, so you could put an array, options, option C, set options. All right, I have my options. I'm good on those. Um, also here, list name and then query. I'm gonna have to change that. List name and then object list name. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change my query here. Because if I want this to work, I want to try and do this in one fell swoop so then I can actually just do my res object and I don't have to do anything with that or do make an array of, successful messages or something like that or something, or array of failures, what have you. I mean, that might be easier. I just copy and paste what I did here or actually put this in here. That could be one thing. But then that would change what we have with our list here. Or not with our list, but we have it changed with the no list have been saved, because then I would have to say what lists have been saved. I kind of want to do a one shot on this. So let me just do a duplicate. Okay, so let's see here. Again, guys, this is why it's important. Like, you can go to Stack Overflow and find these answers, but it's also good to familiarize yourself with the actual documentation of the project. So it's just so when you're actually, you really need to find you really need to find solutions or the best way to actually attack a problem. You can actually just, you're comfortable with going to the documentation, or you're comfortable with figuring it out. You're also yourself, because it might be a quote unquote new issue edge case or something like that no one really does or tries, or it's maybe not best practice, but for whatever reason you have to do it this way, something like, something of that nature. But then you're going through this and it's like, okay, now I know how I can actually do this. The only problem though sometimes is like, you have this here where it shows me all my different queries, shows me all the different options here that I can actually do with this with this whole project or library, or module in this case. But it doesn't show me have query, but I don't understand what multi means. So let's see here. That'd be like the MongoDB. Oh, that's kind of cool. All right, Mongo. Yeah, we'll just do that right there. Oh, sorry. That's the repo, Mongo. Yeah, this one here. So, Mongoose is just a library or a driver, if you will, or an abstraction layer to all of these Mongoose. Or sorry, Mongoose is an abstraction layer to the underlying MongoDB project or database. So something like this is kind of where they're getting into what these things actually do and what they're working with. So update many multi. Actually, let's do that there. So at the end of the day, this is what it's talking to at the bottom, right? But we're using this abstraction layer, this abstraction layer module, if you will, Mongoose, to interact with Mongo. But sometimes it's good to look at the MongoDB documentation so you could understand a little bit better what's actually happening, quote unquote, underneath the hood here. And then they also describe things a little bit better in terms of what I'm thinking here. So array filters. So modify for an update an array field. All right, so we have filter, the selection criteria for the update, the same query selectors as or find, specify document. So we have update, which is what we're doing. So we update the document, but I do not understand. I still don't understand multi. So that's what we're looking for. Upsert, we know what that means. Is if it doesn't exist, then you can go ahead and boom, upsert it or insert it. So it says it does update first. If the record does not exist, then you do an insert. Optional, when true, update many either creates a new document if no document matches the filter. For more details, you see upsert behavior. To avoid multiple upserts, ensure the filter fields are uniquely indexed. Defaults to false. Okay, so that's I've been kind of avoiding that in terms of indexing. I've just not done it or dealt with it or anything, so I might have to deal with that. Collation, array filters. All right, hint, returns. Oh, nope, don't want to do that. Multi, to avoid multiple. That is, you can not specify multiple array filter documents for the same identifier. For example, if the update statement includes the identifier X, possibly multiple times, you cannot specify the following array filters that include two separate filter documents. Yeah, so X.A and X.B. That shouldn't be our problem because we're actually dealing with, it's always going to be, in this case, list name. And it's always going to be object.listName. Okay. Kind of want to just say screw it and just test it and see what happens. But we'll do, and then replace many. What does replace many take? It should take an array. So it takes an object or an array. See set options. Yeah, we got that. Boolean string. Boolean query returns query. Excuse me. Await person that update many Stark is deleted true as opposed to just the first run, regardless of the value of the multi option. All right, we're just gonna have to do mongoose multi. How to do that one? How can I update multiple? You're talking about Stack Overflow, and now we're looking at what we're doing. All right, so update many function, callback, CID. Currently, I believe the update in Mongoose has some problems. See, okay, however, check the docs for updates. All right, cool. Tells you look at the docs, RTFM. Earlier solution deprecated after Mongoose 5 Plus. So this is the new one. So this guy keeps his stuff up to date. That's cool. I believe Mongoose wraps the CID in a set. Okay, so this is not the same as running that same update in the Mongo shell. If you ran that in the shell, all documents would be replaced by one with a single CID. All right, so I don't know what a CID in this case. Maybe it's something that, yeah, it's something he defines here. All right. So kind of not telling me anything here. Oh, there we go. You need to pass the option inside an object. So your code would be multi. Okay. Model.update. So I have a model. I have my model here, which is referenced with the list or list variable. And then I'm doing, in my case, I'm doing a query. Replace one, try, then, oof. Do I want to date now? Oh God, I have to rewrite this whole thing and I don't want to do that. Okay. All right, we're just going to have to be a little bit more explorative here. So we'll take this. So list where list name object dot list name. Yeah, I mean that shouldn't be our query. If anything, we're just gonna have to do query dot set options. Yeah, but see, we can't reference this like, oof. Honestly, we almost have to do a for loop with this. I'm looking at this and it's just like, this is not gonna work how I think it's gonna work. Because even if, okay, let's just mongoose array of objects. Update. Oh, that's a cool picture. It's not my style pretty much, but it's a pretty cool picture. Do like the thing that's going on in her hair. Update many. Mongoose update values of an array. Update values in array of. No. Update items. Set items name function. No. Update multiple documents. Update many method. Use Node.js and Mongoose to update an array. I don't want to update an array. I want to have an array of updates, but I want to update one array. As you need to update multiple documents with multiple criteria, then update many wouldn't work. It will work only if you need to update multiple documents with the same value. Try the list below. And that, I mean, it's kind of what we want, right? So model variant schema, variant ID. Yeah, and that's fine. That's what we want. Okay, so see, and just like I was just talking about here, I'm gonna need to do a oh wait, update one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do like a for loop. It looks like model update. So for const of objects, variant. Okay, variant ID. I don't think it can be done with a single model update many query. You need to loop through an array and use the model update instead. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. All right, cool. Let's do that. And then we're just going to have to account for things like, let's just grab this here, that line. We're going to have to account for things like the all the errors that may be produced from this. Cool. So we're good on that in terms of the line spacing, array.length. In this case, will be list name and then array of objects. Oops. We're going to do array of objects. And then we're going to reference that actual object itself, or that its position in the array for the object. And then we'll go for list name. All right, so list name query. All right, let's uncomment all of this and space everything or indent everything accordingly. Get rid of this. Yeah, so that's fine because we have a then. All right, so async list. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Hmm. So we're going to do something here. If there's an error at all, list, let's find one. So we'll have to do something here, and then this will be at the end of it. And we'll catch it if there is an error. But we won't catch it in this case. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know if we'll catch. We'll do a catch. Because even if we do the catch, I don't want it to stop it if there's an error with the list or entering the list. If there's like an error with the DB, I want it to collect it and go on to the next one. I don't know how I'll test a failure though. That's kind of the hard part sometimes. It's like, how do I test a failure? Do I just shut down my DB server and then see what happens, and then see if but that shuts down the whole app. And I guess we can do that now in terms of what we're doing, but we would have to change a couple things or make it to where this doesn't work properly. Maybe even if we do something like changing the variable name for this capital L list, and change it to lists or something like that, and just make it plural. All right, so in this case, list name, and then replace one object. We're going to do array of objects I instead. And let's find one. We'll do the same thing here. And we don't want the ID, so that's taken out. So what we do want to do is payload list. Ooh, const list. Find one. We're going to do multiple. So we have to add to the payload. What we'll do is outside of this. No, not outside of it. Inside of it. We're going to do a rest status send after the fact. We'll do our catch and everything here. So we'll take that out of there. For our for loop, we're going to go down. All right, cool. Oh, getting hungry here, guys. Once I get this working, I will be logging off. It'll be a little earlier stream tonight, or I'll be ending it a little bit earlier. Just feeling kind of hungry and want to relax before I get my work week started again tomorrow. I also need to put up this cabinet, this rack mount cabinet as well. I'll probably make a video about that, of course. All right, so status success. I also want to work with some Cisco gear because I got this Cisco Nexus switch. Kind of want to play around with that. In fact, I've been wanting to. I think. Oh, what was that picture? Oof. That's in for a bad day on that one. I don't think it's attacking them now. Okay. So I did want to Cisco. I used to have one of these, and then I gave it to a customer, and they never really paid me for it. But Jesus Christ, this is a lot of money. I have a 4948 right now, and that's fine. I might want to just get another one. I might just get another one, and then try and do a dual switch setup. I'm always afraid. I want to have like redundant switches here, so I'm kind of afraid that the switch would actually go down for whatever reason. So I'm actually thinking about that. That way my network will still be running. It's still going to be single points of failure though, so can't avoid it. Yeah, we'll see. I might do something with that. But yeah, I might get another Cisco 4948 and then just have it ready just in case anything happens. I like the E's because they have 10 gigabit SFPs. I think I have a Oh man, I think I have a system Nexus. Nexus, I forgot which one I have. It's like 49. I forgot what I have. Oh, hold on. Let me look at this. This is a Cisco Nexus 3048 TP. Yeah, so this one has like some pretty cool. It's a pretty decent feature set. It has 10 gig SFPs and everything like that. So that's really nice. They're using it at the data center before I left that company. But yeah, so I'll probably be using that as like maybe my new home switch, and then running all my VLANs and stuff through that. So probably be doing that throughout the week, maybe even next weekend. Try and work on that. Anyways, let's see here. All of that just so I can avoid actually doing this for loop and making my brain work. Although I'm hungry and I'm prolonging the inevitable. All right, or delaying the inevitable. So for loop, I'm gonna go to do this query, set the query options, replace one, then async list. I'm gonna do a try, and then that's gonna do find one. If okay, so then what I do here is I'll have my guard statement. Not even yeah, we'll see. We'll have oh man, let errors let query errors equal nothing, and we'll just use that again. It'll do let let query success. Let's change that to failures. Failures. There you go. And that just falls in line with our status. And it'll always return. In this case, oh, actually no. If query failures, I'll change the name here, and I'll probably use a ternary operator to do that, or to track all of that. So like if this, and then I have to take this out for my catch. Yeah, I'll take that out for my catch, because in this case it won't really catch an error. And yeah, so yeah, I'll have to figure out what I'm gonna do with that one. So if here, yeah, and then my catch will do that. Okay, cool. Const list. Oh, I don't even know what that actually responds with. Find one. And in that case, payload list. Yeah, because I don't know payload list. Oof. Oh yeah, it just gave me a document. Okay, yeah, I remember that vaguely. What is it? I forgot the exact structure of that in terms of when it finds something. I've been screwing with it, so it's all messed up. All right, so we'll have to figure that out the hard way, but what we'll probably do is if count list. Let's do this. Let's look it up in the documentation for Mongoose, and we're gonna look up queries, and we should be looking up the find query. That is an F. No. Find one. Find one. Great. All right. Queries, models, schemas, documents, query validation. Where's the find? Serious, man? Is there a search up here somewhere? Okay, cool. Find, and did one. Okay, model. It's in under model. Great. Find one, and what does it return? If error. Oh, jeez. Sorry, I'm being impatient on this. So if error find by ID, find one country dot exact. What does it return? Maybe it tells me up here. I know it will do. I can do a count on this too. Okay, model. Let me do a count. Maybe simpler on that. So model count, and then counts the number of documents that match the filter in database collection. So if error, there is Jungle Adventures count. Okay. Count documents. Okay, count documents is the new way of doing it. I do have code that does that already. So documents. Damn it, I don't have it in here. I do have it in my get. So nano server controller API get JS, and then I should have count here. All right, cool. Count documents. If error, return count. All right, cool. We'll do something like this. Boom. All right, and then I'll do count instead. Count result count. So I'll do get list result count and await list. Do I have this is okay, it is async, good. Query object. Oof, what is my query object in here? In this case, query object is nothing. And then yeah, in this case, I should have a query object though. So my query object is blank in this, but I'm going to do, I should be doing this here. So should be doing list name, and whatever the actual list name is, take out the extra curve, a little bit too much there at the top. Error count, if error, return error. I should be returning it within this because it'll be assigned to this here. And then if error, return error. So now if error, if error, return error. If error, return. Yeah, we'll do. We'll do return error. Otherwise, return count should be a number. And we'll make that a template literal because I don't know what that's gonna look like. And then we'll do space and then our breaks, our line breaks, because this will go to our messages here. So return if error, and I won't return it. No, I will return this because I want this to be returned and then sent to, actually, I don't even have to do result count. So, oof, there's so many things I could do here. Yeah, I won't do like an actual name function here. And also I didn't define it earlier, so that would have errored out anyway. But what I'll do here in this case is I'll do list count documents. And then with list count document, I'll just do the function. and then I'll set this to our values up here. So if it's a failure, we'll do plus equals. Oh, plus equals, right? So that should add it to the errors, the failures message. And then we'll do this one here. Oop. Oh man, query success. I guess we don't need anything for query success. Like, why would I need to? Um, Actually, we'll do this. Query success. We'll make that an actual number. This one will get the actual failures. So with this, we'll say like successful queries this many, and then unsuccessful queries this many. We can okay, we can do count. So I'll probably refine this a little bit later, but we'll just do count here. All right, and then we'll just increment. We'll do plus plus, and then go from there. So plus plus, and we got two things for errors, or we want errors to do two things in this case. So I want a numerical representation, and I also want an alphanumerical representation, or a character-based representation. So I want it to actually write something out, and I also want it to give me a message. So in this case, create first count. So I'll increment that, make sure we end our lines properly, and then I will do this here. Have queries felt message. And if it was successful, yeah, if it's successful, I'll actually make a message. So now this will be a string. So not alphanumeric, but string. So we'll make that a string. So with that being a string now, query failure message, success message. All right, cool. So now I can actually go ahead and actually put in my failure message. All right, so add that, and then the error, and then break. And then we'll do list. Huh. Um, yeah, this can get kind of long in terms of what our how it's gonna look. I'm thinking about the front end. Anyways, yeah, we'll just yeah, it doesn't really matter because so this should pass validation, and then that means we have all of our things here in terms of like all of our properties in our object, and then with it having that property in the object, now I can go and say list and then error. So I want to do list name long. So then I'll have list name and then list name long. Right? So list name long, colon, and then the error. Error. And then dash error. Yeah, so that see how that like gets kind of long there. And then if it's successful, then success count plus 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 plus. That's spelled wrong. No, I took off my indentation here. Success message. Plus equals, and then I will do a template literal, and I'll do this here. I'll copy this this way that looks. Add it to, in this case, there we go. I'll use this string here. Okay. So list name long, count message. So boom, it'll do that. All right, and then I don't need that, don't need that. If there's an error, I don't need to do a catch or status failure, failure timestamp. It's this here. Message failure, payload error. So let's just do this here. I was just thinking, I was saying I didn't want to do this, but so now I'm thinking, like, I'm looking at this and it's like, okay, well, if I'm doing these errors here, right? If it has an error, do I really want it to continue? Do I really want to send it? Yeah. Yeah, I know I do want to send it. And I do want it to continue on. Yeah, I do want it to continue on. So, yeah, what we'll do is this right here. So, because we have a try catch, and what we're going to do is just have it. Yeah, I think that's better. I don't want to I don't want to do a send yet or anything like that. And I'll do an if statement, like if it was successful, then do this and send success. Otherwise, send failure. And then I have to handle the failure accordingly. All right, so query failures count, failures messages, failures, failure count. I don't like failures, plural. This looks like something that's going to be a freaking problem later. Okay. I like that better. I like it. All right, cool. Yawning, but I've been like sleeping all day. Kind of like crashed today, which is pretty good though. I got some good sleep. That was really good. Slept in the sunroom. It was raining today, so that was really nice to watch. Real relaxing, like. So let's do try. Yeah, I might take a nap and then work out a little bit later. I get an oil change tomorrow. All right, Michael, focus. Failure message. And oh yeah, okay, cool. So it's even it's in the Venable, it's cool. For all right, cool. So now so we'll just do this. If we'll have an else, and that else will contain res status. This is if everything's successful, no errors, no issues. I wonder if I can like trigger a catch with this. That'd be kind of cool. Because like if it's an error, then just like trigger the catch and like have it send that. But this is the overall catch here, so I won't do that. So I can do it based off of the count or not. So I'm gonna do errors failure count is greater than 0. Do this. All right, cool. So and then I'll do status failure. And then I'll just do my message. But I'll do two different things. So Since my message is it's possible that it will contain successes as well. I will have it show that. So failures, and then I'll concatenate that. Or actually, I'll do this. Add 2 breaks. Do I need to add 2 breaks? Let's just do 1. I don't know how this is going to look with the 2 breaks. I think I only did the 2 breaks because I've seen it before, and there's a reason why it looks like that. And that's because of the thing that I used to display the error, or the class that I used to display the error. It doesn't look too nice unless you do 2 breaks. So we'll see how this works with 1 break. And then I will have the string here, or have the value, I should say, of failure messages, or failure message. And then I'll have this, I'll have a double break. And then I'll have the kind of the same style here. So 2 breaks, and then I'll have successes. Success. Yeah, success message. Break, 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 break. Okay. Yeah, let's think about that for a second. Let that sizzle in your spirit. So failure, break. So failure, failure. All right, so that's cool. I think that's okay. I don't want to put this on new lines. I don't think it's necessary. Double break, and then double break again. Yeah, we don't need a double break at the end. So that should be fine. Break, and then messages. And then within the message, it'll have all my double breaks in there. So. Yeah, and then payload list. But before I had my payload as something else. Let's see here. It should be here. No, crap. Took it out, and I don't remember what I had there. I guess I had this res status error. Yeah, I won't have the error. I have my custom error, so I won't have like error per se, unless it really errors out. So if query failure count is greater than 0. All right, cool. Yeah, so it has to be greater than 0. Else, res that status, that's send. Success. List has been successfully created, updated. Yeah, there's acceptable English there. All right, so then list. Ooh, payload list. I don't have a list defined. So, do I need a payload? Do I need a payload? I mean, I'd have to define one outside of this for that payload. For now, no. I'll take out the payload. Because I don't think there's anything that I have to like go back and look at. Although if I create the list, I do want to return all lists. That'll be a whole nother query though. Ooh, yeah. I'll probably return the list because that's a whole nother query. Or I could just make a whole nother, yeah, I probably won't do that here. I probably have it do a whole nother query, another Axios API call or something like that. Oh, looks like I'm having problems with Wi-Fi here. And that's one thing I'll do when I like get everything redesigned in here is I'll start running some cables through the house and get a wired connection to this desk. But to do that, I have to go up in this. I have to do something. I don't know how I'm gonna get this over. Yeah, I can get it on the wall, staple it to the wall. It looks like it's better now. Almost done. All right, cool. So, oof, do this, date now. All right, query, if query. All right, yeah, save. See what happens. Oh shoot. All right, cool. Boom. Send. There's problems there. I'll do access level list. Let's see. List long name and names, and then I'll do account type primary. Type primary. And sometimes you work so much in the back end you forgot what the hell you're even doing in the front end. So our access level list here. Access level. Actually, I think it's primary account types. Primary account types. No, that's fine. We want that to be plural. And this should come from our front end. Oh, where is it? Yeah. Here. Here. And we're going to have to. I know I can do this an easier way, guys, but I just want to do this real fast. I don't really feel like doing all of the different replaces. All right, so primary account types, access levels. All right, test. All right, we'll do that access level list. All right, cool. So let's see what this does. All right, cool. So that looks good. So lists have been successfully created or updated. Let's expand this. And that's our post route. So let's go to our get route and then send that. All right, so we have, wow, really nice. So a lot of, just doing a lot of forethought and everything like that. And we can see that we put everything in here. Let's see how it looks on our back end because I want to see the IDs that come up. So history grep Mongo. Where's the Mongo? History grep Mongo. Okay, so yeah, get rid of that. All right. How do I access my Mongo instance? Oh goodness, I forget this quite often. It's like Mongo dash TLS something. Damn it. If I do cat core cat server core, and then do less. It is TLS, and then allow. There we go. All right, so Mongo dash TLS dash this. This should get me in. Damn it. Is it Mongo? Oh goodness, what is it? Is it the P27017? Oh, Jesus. Jeez, that's damn it, I forgot to access Mongo. Alright, let me look this up. Access. Like Mongo. Ooh, damn, this is a pretty site. Yeah, it should be Mongo, but it's denying me Mongo TLS. Just looking here. Ooh. Client must support TLS connection. Okay, we already do that. I don't know if I have to, supply it to Mongo file or anything. Damn it. How to configure connections. I know. I mean, I know where to get it. I just don't feel like going there right now. Mongo SSL. I think we can even do. Here we go. I think I can do this. Damn it. Localhost. All right, cool. Let's just look at this. It is Mongo-H, and then P for password. Host. Show this. All right. So host. Okay. Server connect to import. I think this is okay. All right. Jeez. Host. Local host. And then my port dash port my port, where's my port number? Uh, 2702. 2702. Yeah, there we go. Sweet. Hey, we didn't have to go anywhere else. All right, so we'll do show DBs, and then I will do use fat, and then show collections, and then I'll do db dot list entry data dot find, and then find, and then just do a dot pretty. And the reason why I want to do this, I want to see if the ID was put in there, and frig, it wasn't. So I got the timestamps, but I need an ID in there. And it should have done the per the schema, it should have done the ID. So let's look at that server. What is this? That's a model, and then schema. And then if I do my list entries, it won't put a UUID there if you don't have it there, big guy. You're fucking up, Mike. You're fucking up. All right, cool. So let's do that here. Timestamp is before timestamp. Not that it really matters. List UUID. We don't really need a UUID per se, but I like to give everything its own unique identifier to some extent. All right, cool. So list UUID, and yeah, so that should be good now. So we kind of fix that. All right, and then now go this tier again, and let's resubmit the list through our post, and it should update that. So that's kind of a good test. All right, cool, successful. That's what we want. If there wasn't any other errors or anything like that, it would have shown us beforehand. We'll run this command. It will fail. This is normal because what it does is when we're changing that file, it'll restart the MongoDB server as well. And then we'll do it again. And yeah, cool. We have a list UUID. All right. And then what we'll do is we have the timestamp is the same. And that's the same. It's 899. 899. And is it 82, 899? Okay, so that's in like, yeah, that's really down to the second there. All right, perfect. So yeah, I think we're good on this. For now, we just dealt with some error handling, making sure that the errors show up properly and return properly. And also, instead of doing update many, we just did do update one. And we just did a loop to iterate through everything. Here we go. We did a loop to iterate through everything. Also, we defined the query failure count, success count, all those things. Oh, it's in fact what we need to do. I think. Oh, what I'll do. I'll add a count variable here. Oh, do I need to add count? No. Oh, I do want. This would be nice. So failure, and then in the failure here, I can add the count, the amount of failures. So that'll be nice. So we'll do that, and then we'll do query failure count. Take out the plus there, and we'll do success count. So then it shows us like how many counts of, it shows us the count for all of these here. So that's kind of a nice thing. We'll add a space there. Actually, no, we won't add a space. All right, success count. All right, so then we can use those variables accordingly, and messages. And what we could do is we can do if this is only for success, so we can just do list, and we can just do query count. So we can say X amount of lists have been successfully updated or added. Right, cool. So if I do this here, it screws up totally because that's not a template literal. All right, cool. So now that should show us an actual value. So 0 lists have been updated. What? Okay, so let's look at that real quick. List name. We know it's doing something. Success count. The thing is, that presents a problem to me because it's like, okay, if our success count is not being updated here or anything like that, uh, our success count should be updated here. And we'll do plus plus. Yeah, we should be seeing a value here. We should be seeing a value here. And it's going to be doing an await for us. So it shouldn't be running this beforehand. Huh. Yeah, we'll do that after the fact. Yeah, I don't like that. Let's do this. We'll just do a quick console log of this value here. Query success count. And we'll do a failure count as well. Crap. Great. Now you guys saw all my porn. All right. There's like only one person watching. Probably me. All right. So we got that. Got that. Success count, failure count. All right. Good. Let's let's split and view the zero terminal there. And then let's go ahead and send. Yeah, see, it says 1 and 2. Yeah, that's fine, because that's most likely all the success, right? Which is cool. That's good there. That shows that, right? But it should be awaiting this. And when it awaits, it does what it does. And I don't know which one it is. So I can just do something like this. Success. And then just to identify which one it is. Failure. All right, cool. Do it again. Yeah, so it's success. And it's showing the multiple iterations of it, so that's cool. The only thing is, why is it? Because I'm a friggin' idiot. No, I'm not an idiot. I'm not an idiot, I swear. Yeah, success count. I thought I was the wrong one. Why isn't that? Why, Mr. Anderson? It shouldn't be sending before this. Should not be sending before this. And all right, so what that tells me is that what I probably need to do is actually put this in the for loop. Yeah, let's do that. We'll do this and we'll encapsulate it in another if statement. So if and this is something I've done with for each as well. Is I'll do the last iteration or the last run of something. I'll use it. I'll do it like this. I'm just making sure everything lines up here. I don't need these, so I take that out. Okay. Cancel. Okay. All right, so that should be if statement there. So then if All right, cool. So we're gonna do this on the last loop of this array here. So if I is greater than object length, so the length of an object I is less than, so object length equals I, then we run this. I think that's how that works because I'm just not very familiar. Because I'll equal 0 and it'll keep on iterating. It'll keep on iterating through it, and then that'll equal 1. And I'm just talking about the for loop and how it iterates through the items in the array. And then with it iterating through the items in the array, then I'm still at 2 hours, and I said I wanted to shorten this. Oh god. All right. So it iterates through the items in the array, and with it doing that, array.length should be a non-zero value or won't start at 0. So array.length will be 2, and then I should be 2 eventually. So that should be equal. Because usually what you have to do is like array minus whatever the value is and then go from there for each. And I might have to do the same thing here. So yeah, okay. All right. Oh wow. Why is it? So it never reaches this. So I was wrong. So there's that. So it should fail. 0 lists have been updated. It does send it though, so that's good. I just don't know why it's not doing query success. Could be, is it because it's a let? I don't think it should be. I don't think that should be a problem. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. Let's do this. Let's console.log and yeah, I still got it. Good. All right, cool. We'll just do that. Yeah, so, see, read success is 0. Why though? Array of objects dot length minus 1 equals I. Oh, good. I mean, I know that's not the problem. Oh, do I know that's not the problem? I want to say I know that's not the problem because we're already doing stuff beforehand. Oh, maybe we should do it in the then statement instead of just in the for loop itself. Because everything else works. Yeah, it's probably in the then statement. No, I don't even think that's right. I don't think this will do it, but let's see here. Yeah, still 0. Now, all right, cool. So what we'll do here is we will do, we'll do it in, oh, geez, I don't even know where this ends. Everything's like so nested so beautifully. All right, cool. So we'll take that, and then we'll put it in. We will put it in our then statement here. Okay. Boom. Query console. All right. Yeah, that'll work. Because it'll do all of this stuff and then awaits and then makes all the changes. Boom. There it is. And that's just, that is just a sign of, working with asynchronous functions. Uh, Essentially, it just wasn't waiting for it. It ran it. I like this a lot better because then it shows me that, hey, it's running after it does all the stuff with the count and everything else like that. Then most likely all of this wouldn't have worked either, too, in terms of adding our counts and things like that. So yeah, it's good. Now we know that this works. Two lists have been successfully created, updated. Yeah, that's good. Now let's just get our spacing right, and we're done for the night. Um, oof. Should line up with this weight here. Ooh. No, I guess it lines up with our try. Yeah, that, yeah, okay. Three, three. I should just do copy. One, two, three. Uh, all right, cool. So that should be within our, right then. Everything lines up properly. Cool, cool. Lines up there. Again, Visual Studio Code, this is automated, and you can make this look a lot cleaner, and it can actually work to standards or to a preset standard that you define. All right, cool. That's really good in terms of what we did for error handling here and going through this endpoint. I think we made some pretty good progress here. Um, oh, this is a problem here. I don't want to send a 200 with a failure, so we'll send a 400. Small. Cool. All right, guys. This code will be updated to the or uploaded to the repository. I'll do the update here. I'll run the update after this and push everything, all the changes. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for getting to the playback. As always, do your research. Look at the documentation. Look past Stack Overflow. Look a little bit deeper. Don't be lazy with your research. Actually, look a little bit deeper and get into it and really kind of pull it all out of the mud there, if you will, and kind of just dust off that jewel, wash it off, polish it, and present good code, present good error handling, and go from there. As always, if you're not taking what I say with a grain of salt, then you're low on sodium. Go ahead and do your research and do a little bit more and teach me something in the comment section. Let me know if I'm totally wrong, if I said something wrong, or maybe if I'm doing a good job. Give me some other type of feedback of other things that you guys want to see. As always, thanks for listening. Peace.